It transforms like the air, like the melody that sets our rhythm, invading us so we evolve with time. That flows like the hands of the clock, that tireless tick-tock inviting us to project a future. Imagine connecting with that vital instinct, that impulse that guides us to fresh challenges, to open new doors. Imagine being the exponential evolution of yourself, mastering that feeling that encourages you to grow, because you can point the compass in any direction, knowing your experiences may bring you closer to your dreams, but your vision and attitude can change everything. Only when you believe it are you ready to decide your next step, your path, your future. You seek it, breathe it, live it, transform it, move it and desire it. Because only you can break through the limits. We are future, because we are motion.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to thank all of you for attending our seminar. Are you competitive enough? How best opportunities come from digitalization? I'm Joanna Morzek and I'm a digital marketing manager for Ziggurat Business School, Innovation and Technology. And I'm very pleased to be with you today and to have a chance to introduce you our guest and speaker, Master Program Director and Professor, Jordi Damià.
Hello.
Hello. He's a senior telecommunication engineer and also he's an expert and manager of business transformation and consultant in the implementation of business improvements and also improvement of information system. And also he's a professor of several universities and true stand and also a remarkable vision of the future of digitalization. Please join me in welcoming Jordi Damià.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It has been a pleasure. And thank you, all of you, to attending this webinar. I'm very proud to be here with you and share a little bit about which are those opportunities in digitalization, because the world is changing, and you as a professional have a lot of opportunities to obtain from these new ways of working, from this new technology that is coming, and from this new world that we are facing. But really the world is changing so much. This is the first question that you have yourself. Why we are preparing such a kind of webinar? Why so much people is talking about digital transformation, or why my salary is so low or so high, depending on what is the work that I'm working, the job that I'm having into this new world that we are facing. Well, first of all, there are some facts that are very important. The first one, when you take a look on this slide, you see how much new players are entering that are changing the way in which we are consuming things. A couple of examples that you all sure you know very well. First one is LinkedIn. LinkedIn has become more and more the professional network with any professional could be identified, selected, and recruited for any company. And each day, the number of persons that are entering new accounts, it's increasing. Let's put another example, how we are buying things. And let's take an image on Amazon. Amazon is becoming more and more the shop, the mall of the world, where thousands of products can be selected, and more any company wants to enter there in order to be identified as a competitor, as someone that is adding value with their products, and someone that are offering innovative and quality products. We can talk about not only these two sectors as the professional recruiting or the distribution. We also can talk about how we are consuming movies in Netflix, how we are making personal relationship with Facebook or with WhatsApp, or how we are consuming videos and information as the case of YouTube. War is changing, and all those companies that are increasing so much have some enablers that has made them so competitive in Internet. They are using intensively APPs. They are using intensively and understand very well how Internet of Things could help them into this growing. Big data is allowing to us to understand better which is our competitor, our consumers, our customers, and how to provide them with the services that they made us chosen as a preferred vendor. Social media, it's, as I will explain you later, growing and growing as the best, one of the best options in order to sell and publicity your products and services. Collaborative economy that is coming in order to change the rules in which the world it's working. Data analytics, industry 4.0 and wearables, then as you will see, are going to impact directly on how we live and in our health, in our maintenance of products, on how we are controlling and measuring the temperature of our houses. When we talk about of all these factors or technologies that has appeared, there are some that are interesting to understand, because sometimes appears some words or expressions or how these technologies are understanding which are not strictly correct. So let me go step on step for some of them, very few of them. The first one is big data. Some companies are asking themselves, why do I need a big data solution? Big data is not something like magic. It's not having a big tool with enormous quantity of investment. Big data means simply to understand better what your customers want or what your vendors want by analyzing all the information that you have about them. And all information means not only the structured information, those coming from purchasing orders, from those coming from invoices, those coming from such a kind of well-structured information, but also all the information that is coming from not structured information, like how are your customers navigating through your web? What are their preferred pages? When are they entering into your app? What are the calls that they are doing to your call center? How are they, in fact, interacting with you? So big data allows to you to understand on an holistic point of view how are you interacting with your customers, your vendors, your employees, and your users if you are a company big enough. You have to be aware that we expect that 90% of the data created in the last 2 years is going to be analyzed under these big data purposes. And one figure that is demonstrating that is that in all the call centers, all the data centers in the world, the amount of data is doubling, even doubling every 18 months. When we talk about mobile, this is another thing that has changed, another technology that has changed dramatically our point of view. Now we are able to make a banking transaction or consulting an encyclopedia or analyzing who is the person we are making business in real time using such a kind of mobile information. Today, most important companies all around the world are putting most of their services and product to be accessible via mobile devices. That means smartphones, tablets, and so on. There are some kind of business with this mobile utilization is changing absolutely the way in which they has been working until today, as the banking, as insurance, as traveling, as how to make a reservation into a hotel, how to buy how to pay a cinema, and so on. So the fact of mobile as a tool far beyond the usage of calling, it's a reality, and it's going to increase more and more and more because the number of companies that are developing solutions that could be used using such a kind of devices is increasing. So our expectations is that you have to be aware of what you can do, of what your company can do, of what the companies can do by using this mobile. As an example, 2.53 billion of the data created in the last 2 years can be accessible and can be used by mobile devices. 80% of the data, that means it's going to be used by any kind of mobile device, and the expectations of growing on the sales of such a kind of devices is increasing constantly. So be ready for mobility, be ready for mobile device understanding, preparing and utilization. The other fact are the social media. Social media that initially started as a way to communicate with others or share personal information and so on are increasing very rapidly into the business utilization. And there are some of these social media networks that has been created strictly for professional purposes. And one of the perhaps most well-known is LinkedIn. Today in LinkedIn there are around 500 to 600 million professionals in, and that means that if you want to be located as a professional, as a good professional that can be selected and recruited for a good company, it's obvious that you have to be in LinkedIn. Other social media networks are passing this barrier from only professional purposes to professional purposes. A good example is, for instance, that 81% of the customers depend on social sites for purchasing advice. And that means that they enter to know what are other customers saying about a hotel, a restaurant, or even another company. So when they want to be recruited. And 62% of the people are more likely to engage with brands that integrate social media content into their properties. And that means that they want to acquire things that not only provides them the experience that they want only physically, but also they want to play or to enjoy this experience also in social media and with other media. So all those companies that are ready to understand what is the power of the social network are the companies and the professionals that can be ready for the future. Another thing that it's very interesting, not only for the IT professionals, but also for managers of companies, CEOs, owners of companies, and so on, is the cloud. The cloud means that today you don't have limitations in order to make your company grow in internet or in the usage of technologies as the ones that we are talking about. The cloud means that you don't have to make big investments into IT infrastructure to launch a new business, to launch a new campaign, to understand what your customer wants, or to double your business in transactions. Because the cloud allows to you to pay only for what you need in terms of technology. And not only that, you can focus also your efforts into managing your business, into increasing your business or improving your process more than in managing big IT infrastructures. So the main question comes, do I need IT professionals to manage infrastructure? Of course, that you will need. But there will be always someone necessary in order to explain these vendors what you need from your systems. There will be always professionals that will understand what your business needs and to explain these needs to your professional vendors, your IT vendors, your cloud vendors, and also measure if the service that they are providing to you is appropriate. So cloud, it's a big opportunity to increasing. It's a big opportunity to grow. It's also a big opportunity to IT professionals to understand how to take as much profit of the can about this kind of technologies. Internet of Things. Internet of Things means that we are all full around of sensors, and those small sensors that can be connected very easily to internet are sensors that can change our lives. They can change our lives in terms of control better our health, to control better the environment where we are working on, where we are living. And regarding the professional usage, the capabilities that they have are impressive. From being able to make you an advice when you are passing in front of a restaurant, a company, or whatever, or for instance, to be able to improve your maintenance in your company by controlling the level of vibration, temperature, pressure, humidity, and some other metrics that they can have of your industrial environment. And by doing so and applying, again, things like predictive maintenance, your cost will reduce dramatically, and then you can use this part of investment, this part of cost in added value to your company. The expectations is that we are going to have 200 billion devices connected by 2020. That means that understanding very well what we can do with such a kind of devices, understanding their engineering and over all of this kind of considerations, to understand what is the added value that you can provide to your company by using Internet of Things, will change your perception and the perception of the market about your capability to take profit from the Internet. And then we enter into another concepts that are far beyond technology. Today they are using, of course, technology intensively, but the most important of that is they are changing the rules of consuming. Let's give a couple of examples. Uber is the world's largest car service company today. They are competing against the biggest companies, taxi companies in the world. And what is amazing about that is that they own no cars. Such a kind of collaborative economy means that these companies are using assets from persons, and when I talk about assets, I talk about physical assets like car or even time, in order to provide better quality, faster quality, and cheap quality services or products to other customers. Of course, that this represents a big change of mind, because normally when we trend to buy something or to buy a service, we want this service to be provided by a professional. In this case, the magic is that such a kind of companies of Uber are providing the capability to those non-professionals to act as a professionals. And the magic is the same customer that a taxi company could have. It's the same customer that Uber could have. So we are competing with new players in a different world. The other example that we have is with Alibaba. Alibaba, it's as a company, have things that are so different compared to the traditional way of working. For example, that they are able to sell in one single day $13,000 million in one day, but without having one single warehouse to deliver the products that people is buying to them. That means that the level of technical integration that they have between their distribution platform and the manufacturers is incredible. And that means that the rules of inventory management, the rules of demand managing and so on are changing too. In Alibaba, in Asia, the southeast of Asia, most of companies that want to sell their products into the internet, they know that the marketplace of Alibaba it's representing one of the best ways to announce and sell the products that they could have. So imagine such a big company, imagine such a big retailer that is managing all the products but no inventory. So this is also then something is changing the rules in how we are perceiving the business processes and the way in which we are perceiving how to work. And the other example, Airbnb, the world's largest accommodation provider, that it's competing against hotels mostly, but owns no real estate. They are taking profit of owners of real estate that want to take some money from their assets and can provide these assets to customers in order to provide these accommodation services. Again, Airbnb is competing with hotels for the same customer. The customer that today goes to a hotel, tomorrow can go to Airbnb. And this is very important. That's why it's so important that the hotel's manager understands what are they providing to the customers and try to provide better services, cheaper, faster, with highest quality in order to compete against them. And the other one, which is Facebook, that is competing against the largest media owners and media content owners, but without creating any content, because all the content that they have is created by their own users. All of them are examples of rules that have changed into the market, rules that have changed into how to understand the business and the opportunities that digitalization, that technology is providing. Digitalization means an evolution to analog way of working to digital. A good example is the fact of the digital watches. Digital watches at the end are watches because are providing the hour, the time, equal to the rest of the watches, but they have the ability to provide much more services. They can act as a phone, as a smartphone. They can act as a camera. They can act as a video game. So by making this transformation and adding such a kind and added values, you can find out new business opportunities that are provided by such kind of digital solutions. A very good explanation of what digital transformation is not only a transformation of the marketing process, is not only a transformation of the e-commerce, it's a transformation of all the processes in your company. And inside each one of the processes, it's a transformation about your people, about the organization, and about the technology that today companies are using. Transform means move from one shape to another shape, and digital transform means moving from one shape to another by using digital solutions. Again, when we are facing such a kind of transformation, we are not talking only about marketing, we are not talking only about websites, we are not talking only about new distribution ways, we are talking about how to modify, how to evolve, and how to improve our business. And which are the main three things that could be improving our related business? Well, the main three things that could be improved is, first of all, the customer journey, how the customer perceives and lives the product and the service that we are providing to them, the customer experience, how the customer is understanding what we are providing to them, and how do they live the interactions that we are doing with them, and this can also provide more efficiency into the processes, reduce the cost in which we are working, doing things currently, and using this cost, for instance, to create these new business models from the current assets that we have. All of this is very nice. There are a lot of digital transformation gurus and experts that are explaining such a kind of examples, but real life is that we have companies today, laboratories, hotels, lawyers, industries and so on, that are working very similar as they work 20 years ago, and the business is up and running. So what we have to have is to take in mind that the business as usual should be kept. We have to ensure that things are working usually, while we are evolving. And this evolution could be more disruptive or not so much disruptive. Of course, what we have to do is to be very careful about how to make it without broken things. As Thomas Edison said, vision without execution is hallucination. And that means that we have to take care about how to execute this modification, not only as a company level, but also as a professional level. We all, as a personal brand, as a professionals that want to evolve and want to improve in our careers. And digital transformation, the first thing that should be understandable, and the first thing that we have to take into account is that we are not so much, we don't have to point so much in our product, we have to point so much in what our customer wants. As an example, so the way in which we can represent this is that really we don't need a car, but what we need is the usage that we take from the car. I need a ride. Today it could be used by a car, or tomorrow we will use a self-conducted car. But at the end, the important is the need of the customer, not so much the method that we are using. We don't need a drill, really. What we need is to make a hole in the wall. And we don't need really a supermarket. What we need is someone that is providing me the meal that I need. This is the change of mindset that we all have to do. Also, it's important to understand that in these new companies that are coming, these new competitors that we have, came from or are competing from three different that are mixing after all ways. The first one are all those purely digital based companies where most of their processes are based on digital solutions. That by doing that, they have probably levels of flexibility, levels of cost, and levels of quality which are different that we want. The ones that we are able to provide. The second type of companies that are coming are those collaborative that I was explaining. Companies that are taking as an asset that belongs to others, and what we are then doing is sharing profit by using these assets this time that people can have. And the third level is the usage space. And this is very important. This financial crisis has explained us that people has changed in the way they are consuming. Brands, of course, that today are still very important. But what the people want from a brand is different. People perhaps they don't want so much excellence, but they want cost. People don't want so much high quality, but they want the proper quality for what they want. People perhaps they want so much a very high cost product, but they want to pay what they need, strictly what they need for the usage that they are going to do. This kind of different companies, and of course that you have in mind nowadays, good examples for each one of them are companies that are having a good opportunity into the market and are growing very fast. So understanding all these companies and what is the pillar in which they are supporting also provides to you and to your company ability to adapt and to improve your competitiveness. And there are some disruptors that are invading the business processes. Now, the first one is the personalized frontline decision making. People want to take decisions and is taking decisions very fast and in an immediate way. That's why it's so important to make a personalized front line. People don't want to receive the same message that is receiving everyone. They want to be named by his name. They want to get information strictly based on their needs. So people want to have a personalized service from their vendors. The same happens with real time. Today we want to buy to make a pricing, to receive a service, or to make a consultant consultancy immediately. They don't want to wait until whatever hours, while there are some companies that they are able to provide this service immediately. You have to think in all those processes where you ask for something and then you have for a service, for a price, for a quotation or for information. And then you have to wait days, hours, or even weeks to know, to have feedback about your request. Those real time is critical, and that means that companies and also professionals how to think always and how to provide such a kind of service immediately. And then we talk finally on innovation. If you are perceived as an old-fashioned company, well, for some companies it will be an added value, but most of the companies want to be perceived as an innovative. And also also you have to take into account that if you are not perceived as innovative, your competitors will do. So it's important to think completely and to think always in this innovation-based way of thinking, innovation-based way of service, way of product, where you are providing added value constantly to your customers to be perceived as a good company and, again, as a good professional. What is the new professional future? Well, the first question that you have to do yourself is, am I competitive in the new digital workplace? This question is very important. And by doing that, you will be aware of, you will be able to know if other professionals like you will be chosen instead of you for a good role, for a good place of work. And this is very important. No one today into their companies could say that I'm competitive for the next 10 years, because the market is changing. The way in which the companies are working and the way in which the consumers are consuming is different. That means that you have to be completely and continuously adapting yourself, your skills, your knowledge, and your way of perceiving the company in order to keep on this competitiveness into your skill. there's a measurement, which is your digital skill ratio. Afterwards, we will talk about that, but mostly it means that today, to be able to compete into this more internationalized market, into more customer-focused market, into more innovation focused market, professionals should have skills like capability to make a complex problem solving, to have critical thinking in order to see if something could be improved. They have to be creative, of course. They have to have largest doses of creativity in order to improve continuously the work that they are doing. They have to be able to manage and people, and that means not only manage teams, but also to make a good relationship that with people that came from other cultures, from other sectors, from other ages, to have emotional intelligence, because the pressure that we are going to suffer, the ways that we are going to be able to adapt into the future are very high. So that means that we have to have resilient in order to support such changes. We have to be very service orientation. What companies want today from professionals is people that is oriented to goal, people that is oriented to provide support, people that wants to help others, and cognitive flexibility, which means that logistics director from a traditional company that is seeing how Alibaba is able to manage all their assets without a single management, how to think from themselves, how can I manage my company, reducing the cost. Perhaps I have to rethink how I have been working until today. Perhaps do I need to replace those warehouses for external warehouses? Do I need to implement new digital solutions that I've never used. This cognitive flexibility allows the professionals to forget most of the things that they have used and rethink and learn new things that could be useful for them. This new professional future also it's indicating us which are the main skills that these new digital leaders will have. The first question are different people that are newly coming into the professional market from universities or are newly coming in the market and their first experience has been in a digital startup or they came from a digital company. And on the other side, what you have are people that has been working in the traditional companies and they have to migrate somehow or integrate somehow into their professional experience these digital skills. Here, the main things that you have to take into consideration is the first thing is you have to become this. Digitally affluent. That means that you have to understand the concept that we are talking about. You have to be able to explain. You have to be able to understand and to you have to be able to take in the market what could be interesting for your company and implement it in your company without broken things. You have to promote this digitally literate workplace. Now we are working completely different. This webinar is a good example on how we can share information, on how we can interact with people coming all around the world, speaking similar languages and having similar needs. So being able to promote such a kind of ways of working, such a kind of ways of selling products all around the world, or such a kind of communicate or collaborate, it's very important. And the same happens with the other those other skills that we can have today in companies and for professionals. Perhaps it's more important to collaborate more than be competitors. Perhaps it's more important to transform and to adapt your form more than broken and create new things. So these digital leaders has to understand how to combine this current status with this future and make the most efficient transformation from one side to the other. And again, you as a professional are the one and the first that should change. If you do not change, you are not going to be perceived as a digital leader into this present that we are living today. The business strategy means to also analyze the digital framework in the competitive environment, and that means, do you really understand how and why your company is chosen today? Perhaps you know it 5 years ago, but today, how these new competitors, these new customers are selecting your company and yourself as a professional. What is the customer perceived value? Are all the customers equal? Or do you have different customers? Inside the companies, what is who are the main stakeholders for your job? Is your boss? Where is your boss? Is your customer? What is your customer? Is your colleague? What is your colleague? So understanding this perceived value is really very important. Why do customers leave and come? And again, if you understand your boss as your customer, you have to understand what are the things that your boss wants. You have to understand what the things that your boss don't want, or the market. At the end, for a professional, the market is the big boss. The market is measuring us as professionals that could compete, that could add value. How the market is perceiving us, why the recruiters are calling us, why do they not call us. So understand such a kind of things are very important to understand if we are competitive or not. When we make a business, when we analyze the business strategy, there's a concept which is the digital maturity index, and the digital maturity index in a company means how each one of the business process in your company is competitive against similar business process in those digital or collaborative or usage-oriented companies. And when I say that, I mean, again, is not only to talk about marketing or distribution or web. It's talking about all the processes. So here my question to a logistics director will be, are you managing your logistics department so efficiently as a digital company is doing? Because again, the customers are the same. Are you able to provide to your customer information about when they are going to receive the asset that you are delivering to them? Or for finance, are you using all the methods for payment or the methods to get credits that can be used today? Are the vendors that you are using the most appropriate? This is how we measure the digital maturity index, the level of usage of added value digital solutions in each one of the business process. When we make an analysis of barriers to executing digital strategy, those barriers are well identified. No, we can talk about how to implement new processes. We all know that in companies there are people that don't want to change the way in which they are working. We are talking another aspects, but one of the most critical ones is the people. And most of the companies today are concerned in terms of understanding if they have the appropriate people to face the challenges that they have in the market. Do you have the appropriate people to challenge and to face international internationalization? Do you have the appropriate people to face an innovation in a continuous improvement process? Do you have the appropriate people to manage manage and to deal with teams that are all around the world. Having these people, these those skills are critical in any company, and that means that recruiters and companies the type of people that are looking for, that they want to select, that they want to recruit, are people as the ones that I am talking about. People that is able to innovate, people that understands very well what digital innovation can provide, people that are able to work in an international environment, people that are focused on customer satisfaction, and people that are able to evolve themselves and make the company and the organization also evolve with them. One of the main questions that we have as a consultants and also as a professors about digital transformation. How can I be ready? I really ready for this digital world? Well, here a couple of data about the statistics. One statistic said that 58% of the IT executive are ready for this digital transformation. And while only 27% of the non-IT executive are ready. That means that most of people that is working in non-IT departments are losing opportunities. Opportunities in terms of how to do things better, how to change their business process. Everyone in a company can add added value from the single operator or that is efficiently as a digital company is doing, because again the customers are the same. Are you able to provide to your customer information about when they are going to receive the asset that you are delivering to them? Or for finance, are you using all the methods for payment or the methods to get credits that can be used today? Are the vendors that you are using the most appropriate? This is how we measure the digital maturity index, the level of usage of added value digital solution in each one of the business process. When we make an analysis of barriers to executing digital strategy, those barriers are well identified. No, we can talk about how to implement new processes. We all know that in companies there are people that don't want to change the way in which they are working. We are talking another aspects, but one of the most critical one is the people. And most of the companies today are concerned in terms of understanding if they have the appropriate people to face the challenges that they have in the market. Do you have the appropriate people to challenge and to face internationalization? Do you have the appropriate people to face an innovation in a continuous improvement process? Do you have the appropriate people to manage and to deal with teams that are all around the world? Having these people, those skills are critical in any company. And that means that recruiters and company, the type of people that are looking for, that they want to select, that they want to recruit, are people as the ones that I am talking about. People that is able to innovate, people that understands very well what digital innovation can provide, people that are able to work in an international environment, people that are focused on customer satisfaction, and people that are able to evolve themselves and make the company and the organization also evolve with them. One of the main questions that we have as a consultants and also as a professors about digital transformation: how can I be ready? Are really ready for this digital world? Well, here a couple of data about the statistics. One statistic said that 58% of the IT executives are ready for this digital transformation. And while only 27% of the non-IT executives are ready. That means that most of people that is working in non-IT departments are losing opportunities in terms of how to do things better, how to change their business process. Everyone in a company can add added value, from the single operator or that is managing with industrial machinery, to the top director. So by having an understanding which are the things, which are the added value that we can provide by using these digital solutions, thinking in new collaborative ways of working, or thinking in new languages that you have to understand to work better in an international environment is critical. So as you can see in these statistics, we have a large path for improvement, either in the IT area and also in the business area, and also something very important. Even it seems that the IT professionals are better prepared, that they are, of course. Also in IT, they have to take into consideration that today, the companies, the IT professionals that they want is different. Today, they don't want so much IT professionals able to manage and to deal, to sustain and maintain infrastructure. What they want from IT are people that it's able to help the company to add value. People that it's able to help the company to identify new ways of selling, new ways of producing, new ways of delivering, and the ways of financing. So even the IT professionals should adapt to these new possibilities that the market is providing. And those are some examples of digital skills required. And that means things that you have to take into consideration, and you as a has to know. You have to know something, for instance, about opportunities and risk in digital security, and also new ways of change management in business terms. How to make in different ways project management, new ways to deal with teams, new ways to communicate with people that is in different locations via, for instance, digital solution, big data analytics, etc., etc., etc. Some of these skills are basics that have to be, as a minimum, understand, and some of them should be applied into any company today. So by having these digital skills will help to you and your company to improve. Now, when we talk about about the different different roles. Simply passing through each one of them. When we talk about CEOs, we know that one of the things that the CEOs have to know is that you are the leader of transformation. And that means that you have to understand what your market wants, how your competitors are improving your business, and what your customers want. And from this starting point, and also understanding that your main concern should be to keep and improve your EBITDA, what you have to do is to promote the change into your organization, to promote that the rest of directors have as a minimum so high KPIs as these directors have in those digital companies that today are your competitors. So you have to move, promote, and help your people into this digital improvement. When we talk about functional managers and directors, the challenge is the same. You have to do things, you have to learn new technologies, you have to be more innovative, you have to understand how the market is changing into your process. So by doing so, you will be able to compete against people that is doing the same in other companies, but are doing that better than you. So if you want to be to keep in the market as a good professional, to be recruited as a good professional, to add added value in a company, you have also to understand how to improve your process by digital solutions, how to be as much efficient as the collaborative companies, and so on. And when we talk about more technical professionals, well, here are the main questions that you have to do yourself is, are you competitive enough against other professionals all around the world? Again, your customers today are not only and do not only have you as a vendor, but there could be someone in 2,000 kilometers or in 5,000 kilometers that can take your customer off. So you have to understand very well that you have to improve and how you are positioned against other professionals. Are in the other countries other professionals that can access to the same customers, and do you understand what are the main innovation trends in your specialization? If you are doing so, you could compete in the future. And for the IT professionals, here the main question is that you have to be more market, customer, sales oriented. And here are the main questions that you have to do yourself are you oriented to business or purely to technology? Of course, if you want to evolve yourself as a programmer, as a DevOps, as a project manager, and so on, you are going to be oriented to technology. But those technologies should be applied also into the customer, and should be also applied into your business in order to add added value. Do you know best of breed technical solutions? As a technician, really you are on top of what the best technology companies are doing. Do you know how to add added value to each business process? So really, are you able to discuss and to convince logistics, marketing, finance, and so on to improve their process through technology? And is your company perceiving you as an IT professional they want today? Really? Are they perceiving you as a business, an IT professional that will help them to grow, to go to new customers, and so on? And what are the digital capabilities? Well, there are some tech talent list that we know today. Most of companies are looking for experienced designers and engineers, Scrum masters and agility coaches. This is due to the new ways of making projects. Product owners, SEO digital, full stack architects. All these new profiles that today are needed and today are mostly recruited by different types of companies. And here the main question is, how can I acquire these those digital skills? Well, so what you have to do is first try inside your company to improve and to create innovation that let you know what is happening and really how to implement it. One of the things that we have in Ziggurat is that all our professionals are coming from real implementation into their areas. So we are not talking about theoretical ways of working. We are talking on how to improve things from our professional and real experience. Seek out quality professional training, as we are offering, for instance. Listen to the digital natives' opinion. People that came from digital natives, things about market, profession, and even way of living different sometimes, and see what the competition is doing in those terms. So learn, understand, and improve yourself. And one of the important things is that today you are the image that you are giving in LinkedIn as a professional. So you have to check very well your CV in any social network to be sure that it provides the best professional image possible that you want, of course. Always say the truth, because today, with all the information that we have, it's the worst thing that you can do. That it's not say the truth when you are explaining what you have done. Competencies and abilities are more valued than technical knowledge. Those questions about work team and so on are the most important. Your value is the difference between your cost and the earnings that you provide to the company. You have to be as much valuable as possible for your organization, and you have to communicate confidence, because if you not sell yourself, you are not selling yourself properly. No one is going to buy you as a professional. And sometimes people tell me, well, this is a question of luck. No, well, for me, luck is simply to be ready when opportunity comes. Of course, that opportunity should come, but you have to be ready to take it. And then simply you have to be aware that in the future will come new opportunities that will provide much more business market, will appear new companies, and all those opportunities will give you the opportunity again to be located as the best professional that the market could find out. And well, internet, it's going to grow. Connected devices are going to grow. Internet of Things are going to provide much more services and effort. All of them are opportunities for you as a professional, for your company, and well, for your future life into this so amazing and interesting world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jordi, for a very interesting speech and a lot of interesting informations. Actually, we have a few questions also from our attendants. Maybe the first one, it's Carlos from Spain, and he's asking about how the new technologies affecting the privacy of the users. Are there any limits?
Well, what we know today is laws are always following what technology is providing. Mm-hmm. Of course, that we are all entering into the internet, entering into new social networks. We are giving our information constantly to banks, to hotels, to whoever which we are interacting. You know that there are some laws that are increasingly trying to adapt to this reality. Mm-hmm. But again, laws and controls are always, in this case, not so fast as the things that we are doing into sharing information. Mm-hmm. So here, what you have to be, it's very careful mm-hmm. about this information. Imagine that we are able to know today if you are a good professional or not, depending on the likes that you are doing in a social network. Mm-hmm. So be sure that the comments that you are doing, the likes that you are doing, and the places where you are entering have the security rules and have the security capabilities enough to provide you confidence on what they will do with your information.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you so much. Another question. Ahmed from Dubai, he's asking, which is the methodology of your master?
Well, in our master, what we have defined, well, it's a methodology based in three main blocks. The first block is to understand for any company, any type of company, which are the best processes in order to make a transformation. And that means to understand your environment as a company, to understand which are the forces that are affecting you, and to understand which are the strengths, which are the weaknesses, which are the opportunities and the benefits that you have. And from having this holistic perception of what your company is, then you are able to understand, this is the first module, to understand which are the solutions that other companies like you are applying, companies, governments, organizations, and so on. First module. The second block is all related with business processes. And in this second block, we are going business process by business process, by understanding and explaining to our students what is the best method to evolve. And that means that we will explain to any manager in logistics in the world what is the best method to pass. So this traditional way of working to this more competitive by using digital solutions. This methodology combines videos, professors explaining how to do it, the method itself, which are the real experiences on that, and also supported with materials, business cases, videos, presentations, PDF, in order that the students also have it when, in order that it gives them support in order to implement those into their organizations.
Okay, thank you. Another question from John Anders from UK. Which is the first step that company should take when it's going into digital transformation?
The first step is understand themselves.